Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm not.
and today we're going to be reviewing slash discussing the Lego Batman movie.
You stole my bit again.
Oh, sorry.
Damn, you're out of control. Alright,
What,
well, let's carry on.
what are we going to be reviewing slash discussing?
The Lego Batman movie.
Right. So basically, the plot of this film is you got Batman doing his day-to-day struggle. He's facing off against the Joker and the villains. They blow up a power station, and
And spoilers, by the way.
yeah, there's a confrontation, and Batman, reclusive as he is, tells the Joker he means nothing to him. He's not his greatest villain. Is just, you know what I mean. You're unimportant to me. You're just like a criminal, and this sends Joker into a kind of a funk, if you will. So you've got the Joker hatching this plot to be like, okay, then if I'm not your greatest villain, whatever, I'm just gonna surrender, and then you're gonna have no purpose in life. So that's what he does basically. He surrenders. All the other supervillains surrender. So then you got Batman like, okay, I'm gonna carry on doing what I'm doing. Then it's like, you're Batman. All the villains are gone, mate. You know what I mean? There's nothing for you to do anymore. So kind of Batman goes back to his island house, and then it's just kind of, you know, doing the thing, getting kind of lonely, sad, and then he decides, oh no, I'm going to break into the Fortress of Solitude, grab a Phantom Zone projector, and I'm going to send Joker to the Phantom Zone. For some reason, I didn't really get that. I don't get the motivation behind that.
I
Just
think the point is that, so as they touched on a lot of Batman mythology in the movie and a lot of the Easter eggs and stuff, and one of the things is the Joker will always escape. No matter what Batman, but not just the Joker, all of them basically, they will always get out. So the idea is the Joker can't get out of the Phantom Zone. And basically, the thing in the movie is Batman is so arrogant and so up himself that he's not only dismissive of Krishna Gordon and Alfred, but even the Joker. He won't even acknowledge his greatest enemy. He's such a doofus douchebag that he ignores everyone. But they touch on some pretty serious stuff in the movie as well, obviously in a very light-hearted and funny way. In that Batman is an orphan and so he refuses to accept family. And up pops, I think, your favourite character in the movie, right? Dick Grayson.
yeah, with his big eyes.
Right. Why did you like him so much?
Because I don't know, he just had big eyes. There's something about him with them glasses. He was just walking around like. I mean, if we kind of carry on from there, obviously, Batman's lost his purpose in life. So then he goes to Commissioner Gordon's retirement party. He's being succeeded by Barbara Gordon, and Bruce Wayne slash Batman kind of, he's got the hots for her. So then he kind of runs into Dick Grayson and is like trying to get adopted because he's an orphan also. And then Batman, inadvertently, Bruce Wayne ends up adopting him. So you got kind of Batman bumming about in the Batcave, and then Alfred's like, "Yo, what about your son?" And he's like, "What do you mean, my son?" And obviously, you got Dick Grayson running around like messing about in the house, and he actually has adopted him. So he kind of brings Dick Grayson slash Robin. He becomes Robin into his plans to kind of stop the Joker once and for all. So there's kind of the voice acting was probably one of the highlights of the film. You got Will Arnett voicing Batman, you've got Michael Cera voicing Robin, Billy D. Williams in there as Two-Face, because as you can remember in Batman 89 he played the role of Harvey Dent but never actually became Two-Face, so this was his opportunity to redeem himself, as it were. Rosario Dawson's Barbara Gordon, Ray Fiennes is Alfred, and you got like Zach Galifianakis as a Joker, and you got a couple of others like A-list people doing like voices of King Kong. Can't remember who did that though. You got Eddie Izzard playing Lord Voldemort, as well as obviously a host of Batman characters. You've got like other like characters that come out of the Phantom Zone, like Lord Voldemort, the Wicked Witch of the West, Sauron even turns up. He was pretty good. Yeah.
So the heavy on the mythology,
Hmm.
like super deep.
You're even at Bane. Bane's voice was kind of
That
Tom
was my favourite bit.
Hardy-esque from the Dark Knight Rises, so you had him like pulling a couple of them lines out in the voice, which was pretty good. You know what I mean? You had like they were doing like the Rogues Gallery, and you had all like the random like really like B-list or
Mhm.
Z-list villains, Condiment Man, Killer Moth, stuff like that. So I mean, as Batman fans or aficionados, if you were, a lot of these kind of there was a lot of like solid Batman references, not only like characters from the comic books, from the films, TV. They kind of did a couple rundowns of that, the different costumes from the films over the years and references like that. There are a few like nudge Easter eggs for the adults as well as like
The children.
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff for children as well. Them and obviously comic book fans alike or whatever, or non-comic book fans. It was just a funny film, and I think kind of the Lego kind of franchise appeals to a lot of people.
It does. I mean, that's your first responsibility when you're making a film. You have to make an entertaining film, and then the trappings around that is kind of gravy. Although they go deep on the mythology of Batman, they do make a coherent film about a guy who is a bit of a douchebag who has to learn to love others and let others love him. And so, that's kind of a story we've seen in a lot of kids' movies, and it works well. You can play a douchey thing off funny, and then you can have the character grow. I thought, although they have the entire Rose Gallery in the film, or at least most of them, they didn't overhit, they didn't overplay. Bane having the Tom Hardy voice was funny because they didn't have him in the entire movie. He's in it a few times, he has a few quips, he's funny, that goes away. Um, I thought the Batman and Robin dynamic is strong. It played on a lot of the jokes that have been made about them between the years, even the homoeroticism in Robin's outfit and then being a young boy hanging around with Batman. No stone was left unturned. The overall story was fun. There was a lesson in it for children. There was something in it for adults. Uh, Ultimately, I think it was a strong film.
Yeah, if you can name out some standout moments, what were yours? I think there's a good like Suicide Squad reference in there where Batman's like, "Oh, what do you expect
Mm.
us to do? Bring in a load of villains to fight villains? That's not a good
Oh,
idea." And then
thanks.
like the password to the Batcave was "Iron Man sucks." That was nice as well. The kind of Poison Ivy cornering Batman, and then he kept pulling like penguins out, and like she was kissing them and turning them green. That was pretty good. Like the penguins were pretty good supporting characters. Like I think they popped up like 2 or 3 times. You had like them splat on the windscreen of the Batmobile. I think because generally you're working with Lego bricks, everything's kind of Lego. I mean, you had the car turn into a plane and stuff like that, and like whiz about. That was pretty cool. So when you're kind of dealing with the kind of Lego universe, it's not very serious, so you can make the kind of like funny scenes like that. As
Again, standout moments for me will probably be, first of all, when the Joker surrendered and said Batman couldn't beat up anyone anymore, and Batman just throwing punching everyone and saying yes I can, which led to the first Bane line of the movie, which killed me. The ringing of the doorbell at this Fortress of Solitude played the John Williams theme,
yeah,
and then consequently the Justice League party that Batman wasn't invited to. I thought that was funny. Um, Even I don't know why this made me laugh so much. Even the fact that he told Rosario Dawson's Batgirl, or sorry, Barbara Gordon, to drive into the Eye of Sauron just because, and she did it. The
yeah,
joke, the jokes were consistent. If there wasn't a part where I felt the movie lagged, everything was solid. Um, I will say, I suppose it's a complaint with a lot of trailers, and there's not much you can do. Once you've seen it, you've seen it. But there was some good jokes that were kind of done in the trailer, and so they weren't as funny watching them in the movie. They probably would have been, the microwave gag, the gag about all the different versions of the movies building up to the Adam West Batman reference. I think if I hadn't seen it in the trailer, I probably would have found that even funnier. But you got to make the trailer. What are you gonna do?
Are there any moments in the film that you feel were unnecessary?
Um, no, not really. I thought it was pretty solid. I thought they. I'm sure there is if I thought about it, but I'd really have to fish around. I do think they cut the fat out for the most part, and they got to the juice. They did what they needed to do. There was no they. There were periods where they could have lagged, where they could have spent too long. They could have spent too long at the party that Bruce Wayne was at. They didn't. They could have spent too long with the Justice League. They didn't. They got in, they did the jokes, and then they moved the story on.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of Lego appeal works well for a comedy anyway, because it's kind of not serious. It is kind of Lego is kind of childish. So for me, I kind of would have liked to have seen a little bit more of the Justice League because they were kind of marketed a lot, and you kind of only see them for a couple seconds. So yeah, apart from that, it's kind of a solid Lego film, solid Batman film. You know what I mean? So I mean, probably the best film I've seen all year so far. I'd say. I mean, it was a good film.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we are only 2 months in.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You're saying really? What
Yeah,
films have you seen this year?
it's a good point. I forgot about that. Yeah. Uh, is it the best movie I've seen this year? Maybe.
What would it contend with?
Manchester by the Sea, which is a very different film.
Oh well,
Very different.
I've,
It's definitely. I think it will probably be my favorite comedy of the year. There's no doubt about that. I
mm.
don't think I'll see anything else topping it.
um, so let's talk numbers then.
I would go 8.5.
I would say 9. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's a solid film. I don't see why you wouldn't say 9. I mean, it's up there. I mean, yeah, I think that Lego kind of. I mean, if you reflect on the games as well, Lego doesn't really go far wrong with most things. I mean, the films are good, the games are good. So I mean, they're on to like. What do you think would come out for a sequel? A sequel to this? What would you like
What
to
to
see
the
happen?
Lego Batman? I would say hook him up with a JLA.
Yeah, because I mean, this was a completely original story. You know what I mean? The Joker surrenders, and then Batman's like so like paranoid that he's got nothing to do. He ends up sending Joker to the Phantom Zone, and Joker gets all like the rudimentary villains like the King Kong, sea monsters, the Daleks, the Wicked Witch of the West, Lord Voldemort, and stuff like that. Say attack kind of Gotham City. So it's a kind of nice mix that you can kind of you've got all the Batman-esque stuff, but you can drag something like the Phantom Zone, which is predominantly Superman, into the story to kind of serve a purpose, as opposed to dealing with a whole mess of stuff instead of just really dealing with the kind of Batman villains. I mean, you can get other more threatening stuff from it and onto it. So I'd
Yeah.
probably like to see a Justice League one as well.
Right. I will say this. I don't think there's an obvious direction to go like there was with the Lego Batman movie. From the Lego movie, Batman was the standout character. That song he had was, in my opinion, probably the standout moment of the movie. As good as this movie is, and it's damn good, I don't think it has that. It doesn't have an obvious place to go. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess. I imagine there will be a sequel. I think it's done well at the box office, and it's Batman, so we'll see.
Okay, so that is our review. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and this has been the Superhero Hub.